Welcome into sportsbookreview.com. I'm Gary.
And I'm Chris.
And this is the college football conference previews. We finally made it. We are officially here, and I am ecstatic about this.
Oh, yeah, no, man, I'm ready. This is where it feels like we're getting closer to the season. We're almost to July, August, and you're there.
Yes, we are so pumped about it. We are going to start off with the smaller conferences. These videos will be a little bit shorter than they have been. They're going to be 20 to 35 minutes, somewhere in there. Of course, you guys are used to an hour-long show, but we're going to have 2 per week. It's going to work out well, I think. So we're going to start off this week with Conference USA. Before we get started, go ahead and remind you, there is a link in the description. Go over to sbrpicks.com/NCAAF. That's right, NCAA football, the one-stop shop for all of your college football gambling content. You can find it all right there. Go ahead and do us a favor. Like this video. It is the thumbs up button that's right below the video. You can do that if you're watching on YouTube. And subscribe to the channel. College football, we're going to have coverage all season long. It's going to be a good time. Make sure that you are subscribed and hit that little bell. It's a notification, lets you know that we have new videos up. So go ahead and check that out. We will be doing live shows, all that good stuff. So go ahead and dive into that. You can also reach out to us. If you don't do the commenting thing on YouTube, that's fine. Totally get that. You can reach out to us on Twitter. I am at GaryWCE.
I'm at Chris B. Giannini.
Or if you are super old school, you can always email Gary@winningcureseverything.com.
And I'm Chris at winningcureseverything.com.
Let's dive into it. We're going to start off with the Charlotte 49ers. Now, heads up, we're not going to go super detailed here. We're going to give you the odds and whatnot, and we're going to tell you what we think about the team very quickly. That's the way that these things work. If we're going to hit 130 teams, we got to roll with them. So let's go ahead and dive in. Charlotte 49ers head coach Will Healy. The win total this year is 4.5. The over juiced at -105. The under at -125. The projected record from SP Plus is 5-7. From the ESPN FPI is 6-6.
Ooh, okay. So they both like them going over.
Yes, I like them going under. Both offense and defense regressed in Healy's second season. They are only projected favorite in 2 games, but they do have 6 spreads that are going to be less than a touchdown. The team probably has the best wide receiver core in Conference USA. The defense was awful in 2020, signed a bunch of big transfers. I don't know how it's all going to gel. I love Will Healy.
I was just about to say, we're big fans of Will Healy, though,
yes,
right?
Love Will Healy, but I don't think this is the year. I think next year is going to be the year when they gel.
It's strange when they're projected, one-score games. This is basically coin flip games.
Yeah.
That's half their schedule.
Yes.
I mean, that tells you that they should be in a lot of these games.
They should.
It's just you're trying to figure out, will they win them or not. I kind of think I'm with you. I don't know that I like them to go over the 4.5.
I'm going to go under 4.5.
If you gave me
minus
4, I might stay off of it and just take the push.
Yeah, -125. I think they end up right at 4-8. That's where I've got them. So, shall we move on?
Yeah.
Let's move to the Florida Atlantic Owls, and that, of course, coached by Willie Taggart, former Florida State coach, former Oregon coach, former South Florida coach, etc. He has made a name for himself in Florida.
He has,
that's
and
what
he's done well while in Florida. He didn't do well when he left Florida.
Correct.
But he's done pretty good things while in the state of Florida.
Yes, he has. Surprising defense last year led them to a 5-1 start. They dropped their last 3 games due to a really poor offense. Now, he looked to fix that in the offseason, brought in veteran offensive coordinator Michael Johnson. His son, Michael Johnson Jr., transferred in from Penn State. They've got a lot of returning production, but it's not super proven. They had last year, but it wasn't a long year, and they didn't exactly show a bunch of numbers.
But last year was a weird COVID. I kind of give a lot of teams a pass on last year.
Yes. Defense brings back 12 players with 200-plus snaps, so that is always a good thing. However, they replaced defensive coordinator Jim Leavitt with Mike Stoops, who was an analyst at Alabama last year. He was most notably fired as defensive coordinator at Oklahoma by Lincoln Riley a few years ago. And Oklahoma has improved without him at the helm.
But I trust Willie Taggart's defense.
I tend to as well.
I think that's the difference here. I think it's Willie's defense. I don't know that I worry so much about the coordinator there.
I feel like it was Jim Leavitt's defense. That's how I view it.
All right, I might be wrong on that then.
The win total here is 7. The S&P or SP Plus, Bill Connolly over at ESPN's projected record 7-5. FPI's projected record 7-5. The win total is 7. I'm going under.
Okay.
I'm going under that win total. Minus 140 is the juice there. If you wanted to go over, it's plus 110. I think Florida Atlantic has some things that they need to figure out. They are projected favorites in, 6 games. And so projected favorites in 6 games. They got 3 toss-ups. They play at Western Kentucky. They've got Marshall at home. They've got Georgia Southern at home.
Are they going to be favored against Air Force?
Let's see.
That's a coin flip game in my brain.
That is a loss. They are projected to lose that by 4 points.
Okay, so I feel good about that being a coin flip game. Not to go through their schedule. Man, 7's a lot. 7's a lot. If it was 6.5, I'd take the over.
Yeah.
But will they get to 8 wins or more? I trust Willie. I do think I trust Willie. I think they take the step forward.
All right, so you're going to take the over.
Yeah.
Taking the over at plus 110. Okay. I'm going to keep track of these.
That's fine.
Keep track of them. Let's see. Moving on from there, Florida International. You know how much we love Butch Davis.
Well,
Gotta love old Butch.
Used to.
Yeah. Win total is at 4.5. The over juiced to plus 110. The under juiced at minus 150. SP Plus has them at 5-7. FPI has them at 4-8. They went 0-5 last year, and last year was just a complete mess. It was due to COVID issues. They had guys out.
Yeah, I'm not really worried about last year.
Yeah, last year was whatever. The passing game was awful.
But they just haven't been great for a while.
Even the passing game being as awful as it was last year, it didn't slow down the running game. They averaged 6.6 yards per carry, and they get 4 offensive linemen back and both of their running backs. So even though everybody knew that they couldn't pass the ball, they still ran over people.
Yeah, they're going to play a different schedule this year.
Yes, in fact, they are. They returned their entire secondary from the unit that was the best in Conference USA at preventing explosive plays, so that's good. But they're only projected favorites in, 4 games. 3 games.
I was
just
about to say, I had a hard time finding 4 games where I thought they would be favored at.
They're not going to be great. This is a rough schedule. However,
it's tough.
I do see Charlotte on there. I do see Old Dominion. I think they can win at Middle Tennessee. I think they could possibly beat North Texas at home. I don't know what Southern Miss is going to be under Will Hall. Texas State, LIU. I think that there's a shot here for them to dramatically improve, especially with a good running game and a good defense. I'm going over the 4.5 at plus 110.
Yeah, I'm not.
I like Butch Davis.
I'm not. Butch Davis used to be a great coach. Not a good coach, a great coach. Man, that was a long time ago.
And so you were going to take the under 4.5.
I'm going to take the under at 4.5.
And let's see, that juice minus 150.
I'm 150. I don't like laying a lot of juice.
Oh, I know you don't. But
I struggled to find games that I thought were winnable.
That's totally fair. If you look at it differently than I did,
I mean, and look, like I said, we're recording this at the end of June. Yeah. Okay, this is the thing is we're making a prediction about things that are going to happen in October and November in June.
This is true.
So
this is
take
true.
it for what it's worth.
Moving on from there, the Marshall Thundering Herd, brand new head coach Charles Huff. They beat their first 7 opponents last year by an average of 37-10.
Beat the hell out of everybody.
Doc Holliday's bunch was whooping everybody, but they lost their last 3 games. Injuries wrecked the offense at that time. Doc Holliday, of course, fired. Charles Huff, Alabama's running back coach, was brought in. Defense is absolutely loaded. They returned 10 players with 200-plus snaps. They were number 1 nationally in tackle success rate. That is coaching. That is 100% coaching.
Hang on. That was not just regular. That's Doc Holliday coaching.
Yes.
Who's not there anymore.
100%.
My guy.
Redshirt freshman quarterback Grant Wells returns, along with offensive coordinator Tim Cramsey and 8 other starters on offense. I think this team is going to be just fine. Looking at it, they are projected favorites in 9 games.
Yeah, they're going to win a lot of games.
The over-under here, the win total is 8. So the juice is minus 125 to the over, minus 105 to the under. And I'm going to go with the over. The projected record
What's the win total again?
Win total is 8.
8.
The projected record by SP Plus and FPI is 8-4 on both of them.
Okay.
I kind of expect them to go 8-4. I think there's a shot that they could get to 9-3.
Yeah, I do too.
And now, at the same time, brand new coaching staff coming in.
I kind of don't want it to happen because I love Doc, and
it
kind of pisses me off that they fired him for the.
Well, it was all political.
I understand.
Yeah, it was.
I understand that. I kind of hope that defense sucks because I think he was the architect of it. But that's not fair to the kids. It's not fair to the folks there. The two big games for them, Navy and App State.
Both of which are on the road, by the way.
That's going to determine are they going over this 8 or not. You think?
Yeah.
Or are you just chalking those up to L's?
Their toss-ups are UAB and Florida Atlantic. And they got Florida Atlantic on the road. I'm kind of chalking up App State as a loss.
I'm going to go on.
I think Navy.
It's a coin flip.
I
had it as a coin flip. I had App State as a loss. I had UAB as a coin flip, and I had oh my gosh, who was the fourth team we just talked about? No, that was it. They had three games that I thought were coin flips.
Were coin flip games,
and App State was a loss. The other two were coin flips. I'm going to go under
the 8. That makes sense. So juice at 105. You'll get back some money if they only go 7-5.
Yeah.
All right, moving on from there, we are moving to Middle Tennessee Blue Raiders. And Rick Stockstill's bunch, of course, he's been there forever. The last 2 seasons, 3-6 last year, 4-8 the year before that. As soon as he lost his son at quarterback, they have had issues. They were not great last year. All 3 of their wins were by 1 possession. 4 of their 6 losses were by an average of more than 30 points. They got demolished.
Yeah. They should be returning a bunch of guys, though, right?
They are number 28 in returning production this year, 84%.
This is not a school that just reloads every year. It's his final year with his son. That was a very senior-heavy team. It was a very experienced team. And then all the guys the last 2 years were a lot of sophomores, few freshmen, very few juniors, very few seniors. Now those guys are older. I do think they're going to be better, minus looking at their record from the past. Not overwhelmingly better, but just being in the system, and now they're having their time to be there and to really play and start.
They have got a new transfer quarterback, Bailey Hockman, who was the NC State quarterback. That will definitely help. Their new offensive coordinator, you might know this name, Brent Dearman, former Kansas offensive coordinator under Les Miles. Ton of returning starters, like we talked about. Defense ranked number 124 in 2020.
And he's going to open this offense up, by the way.
I would think so.
Yeah, I think he's going to open
with Dearman and with Bailey Hockman. I mean, Hockman won a bunch of games for NC State last year.
That's right.
So they've got 10 starters back on defense. I don't know if that's good or not, considering how bad they were. But you would have to assume that experience will help. I do not like their schedule.
Yeah, they're loaded. They're loaded up with some big boy games.
Now, they got Old Dominion at home.
Yeah.
They play at UConn. They have Monmouth to start the season. The win total is 4.5. To go over is -125. To go under is -105. I'm going to go under here. Okay. The projected records, by the way, SP Plus has got them at 5-7, FPI at 6-6. I'm going to go under the 4.5. Okay. I think it takes a little time to gel here. Because they've got at Virginia Tech, at UT San Antonio, at Charlotte, which is a toss-up game. You know, Marshall's on the schedule. At Liberty is another non-conference game. Like, these are tough games.
I understand that. They also got two gimmies in Monmouth and UConn that we think they're going to be heavily favored and they're going to win. So they just got to try to win 3 other games.
You know, the game at UConn, they're only favored by less than a touchdown.
Well, that's just
by the numbers.
That's just bad numbers.
That's okay.
This is bad numbers right now today.
This team was really bad last year.
I understand that. So. Hang on. UConn didn't play last year. What are you going to do when you look at last year's numbers for them? How are you going to pull stats on that?
That's a valid
point. They sat at home.
They did.
And some dumbass newspaper gave them a national championship. Because they were so brave.
Staying in Conference USA East, we are going to a team that did not play last year. And that would be the Old Dominion Monarchs. Ricky Ronnie finally gets to coach his first game. This will be his second season at the helm, but they closed up shop last year. They folded up the tents. They said, nah, we ain't risking it. We don't have the money for tests and all that good stuff, so we are not worried with it. Serious rebuilding. The team is going to be awfully inexperienced this year, but they do have 31 3-star recruits that he has signed in the last 2 classes and 15 Power 5 transfers. That means that they are going to be talented. Ricky Ronnie knows
they're
what he's
be
doing.
experienced and talented, even though it's not returning experience.
Well, no, I'm saying like it's from the last two classes, like those 3 stars that are coming in. Before that, I think they had signed like a total of 5 3-stars in the
They got
4
a pretty
years
tough
before
schedule,
that.
though, man.
Oh, they certainly do.
They've got one of the most difficult schedules in this conference.
The win total is 3.5.
Yeah, I was about to say it had to be low.
Hey, well, Middle Tennessee, were you going under 4.5?
No, I went over.
Going 5.
I'm
You're going over.
I went over. I don't know if we talked about that or not.
I don't think we did, but over on Middle Tennessee.
I won over.
Old Dominion, 3.5.
3.5, man. That's
Going over is minus 150. Okay? Going under is plus 120. Now, here's the deal. FPI has them projected at 2-10.
yeah.
SP Plus has them projected at 5-7.
Whoa.
That's a big difference.
See, I think I favor the FPI.
It's
Some of
same.
that's just because they don't have the gimmies that some of the other schools have. And what's funny is a lot of these Conference USA schools are taking checks. You know, they're going to Va Tech and they're getting money. Like, I don't think Liberty's paying you a check. I don't think Buffalo's cutting you a check to come play them.
I mean, they're cutting you a check, but it's
not $2 million that Alabama would cut you.
It's pennies on the dollar.
You know?
I will tell you this.
Va Tech's paying a lot more than Buffalo.
Yes, the reason why a lot of people think that Old Dominion could go over here, one, there is talent on the schedule or on the roster, and two, they've got 6 opponents that are projected to finish number 114 or worse in SP Plus.
That's not good.
That's not good. So you're talking about bottom 15 teams.
Yeah, but if Old Dominion is also a bottom 15
exactly
team,
right,
then I guess that means there's a couple of coin flip games. They got a couple of gimmies. They just need to win 1 or 2 coin flip games.
Do you know who the new quarterback is?
No, so he's one of the transfers, right?
He is.
Yeah.
UCF transfer Daryl Mack Jr.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, played against LSU.
Yep.
You know, played pretty well until Dylan Gabriel took over for him a couple years ago.
He lost his job.
So, yeah, I mean, he lost his job, but I think he could do well at Old Dominion. Possibly.
Oh, yeah. This is definitely a big step down in class.
Yes.
He'll be fine.
I am going under the 3.5.
See, I think I got to.
Yes.
I think the schedule's tough, and I don't know they're winning a lot of coin flip games.
The games that would be toss-ups for them, they've got a lot of them on the road. And that's what I don't like about it.
I think it's so hard to sit out a season when everybody else got to play last year, and the last time you hit somebody was 2 years ago.
Yes.
I think by the end of the season, this war of attrition is going to matter for teams that didn't play.
Yes. Yes.
Now I might be wrong, but I'm basing all of my logic on being right.
I like it.
I don't even know.
I like it. All right.
Hard to argue with that, right?
The Western Kentucky Hilltoppers. You are correct about that. Tyson Helton and his bunch. They had trouble scoring last year. Their win total is 5.5. They went 5-7 last year. Went 9-4 the year before that. Played in the Conference USA Championship game. This team is tough to read. Very tough to read. Defense has been a strength for the last 2 years. They lost their defensive coordinator, though, Clayton White, to South Carolina. He's part of Shane Beamer's new staff. Went from 9-4 to 5-7 because of basically offensive ineptitude.
I was just about to say, they cannot move the football, could not score the football.
Only scored more than 24 points twice last year. To fix that issue, Tyson Helton really, he knew that is an issue. He went to Houston Baptist and took basically their whole offense. He took their offensive coordinator. He got their quarterback to transfer in. He got their top 3 wide receivers to transfer in.
It's going to matter.
Yeah. Houston Baptist scored more than 30 points against all 3 of the FBS teams that they played last year.
3 out of their first 4 games, they're not going to score a lot of points. I don't care who they are.
They play at Army, they play Indiana, and they play at Michigan State, but then they've also got UT San Antonio.
Yeah. And they started off with UT Martin.
Yeah, that'll be a win.
So they'll get that. Their next 3 games, that new offense is not going to get a lot of time to gel, work out kinks, really get in a rhythm or a groove. After that, UTSA, Old Dominion, they might kind of start hitting a stride and then get on their way. But this schedule, man, they got 3 games in a row they start with.
SP Plus and FPI both have them at 6-6.
Ooh, wow.
I'm going to go the same way.
Okay.
I'm going to go over 5.5 here. It's juiced at minus 105 for the over. The under is minus 125. I I like this team. I think that the offense is going to be able to gel. Now, I do think that they're going to start off 1-3.
Well,
but
yeah.
I do think that they'll get to 6 wins.
I just think it's not just starting off at 1-3. It's those new guys coming in and trying to put this offense together where you're just getting your ass kicked. And I was thinking 4 or 5 wins.
It's a big change going from at Army, a bye, and then Indiana and at Michigan State. You got those, but then you got UTSA at home. And then you run on a stretch here of at Old Dominion, at Florida International.
But there's a world
Charlotte,
in which
Middle
that
Tennessee.
UTSA game is you're just trying to feel your team out in that game.
So
that could be a coin flip game more than a.
I think they could lose UTSA.
Yeah.
And still hit 6 wins.
Okay.
Because I think they get that first one.
Well, yeah, I think they get the first one.
I think they beat Old Dominion. I think they beat Florida International, Charlotte, Middle Tennessee, at Rice.
It definitely
Florida
gets
Atlantic,
easier.
Like,
It definitely gets easier.
I think they go on a run in the middle of the season.
I'm gonna go under 5.5 because I was thinking 4 to 5. I'm gonna stick with that. What's my juice on that?
Going under is -125.
Okay. All right.
-125. Moving to Conference USA West. And let's see what we got here. First one up, the Louisiana Tech Bulldogs. We'll have to kind of start flying through some of these.
We'll roll.
Win total is 4. Skip Holtz, of course, now the winningest coach in Louisiana Tech history. That is a pretty big deal. They need stability at quarterback so badly. They rotated between Anthony and Allen last year. Defense shifted from a 3-4 to a 4-3 scheme last year with no spring practice, no nothing. They brought in new coordinators, all that kind of mess. They get 10 starters back on defense this year, and they get star defensive end Willie Baker back. They got 17 starters back overall. That's the most in the Holtz era.
Yep.
Now, the other side of this is basically everybody's got a bunch of starters back. The projected records here, SP Plus has them at 4-8. FPI has them at 6-6. I tend to lean FPI here. I expect Louisiana Tech because they've got a ton of talent on the roster.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, I'm going over. The juice is at -125 to go over. To go under is -105. I think bare minimum for this team is 4 wins.
Yep.
I fully expect 5 or 6. I think they could go bowling again.
What was the number again? 4,
4.
4.5. Yeah, I'm going over that as well.
Yep.
I'm going over that as well. I like this team. I like Skip Holtz. I'm going to always rely on coach, quarterback, experience on defense. You're right. They tried to change over their defense last year. They've had an entire weird year of last year.
Spring practice.
All season this year, full off season. I think that defense will be much improved.
I think so as well. The North Texas Mean Green. Seth Luttrell back at the helm. Of course, offense is never a problem with them. The issue,
they're not going to have trouble scoring.
The issue has been defense, of course. Their win total is at 4. To go over is +110. The under is juiced at -140. Not as much returning production as some of these other ones, but they're still over 70%. They are number 83 with 73% returning production. That's how crazy this year is going to be. 9 starters back on offense. They really could have the best offense in Conference USA.
Oh, yeah.
Could have.
They've kind of been that way the last couple of years, though, right?
Yeah.
There aren't a lot of great offenses in this conference.
Well, two years ago, they had just lost Mason Fine. They were still trying to figure their way through, and they had lost Graham Harrell. Now they're kind of figuring these things out. It's a little bit easier. They had new defense coordinator Clint Bowen last year with 0 spring practices. They got 10 starters back on defense. It's kind of the same situation as Louisiana Tech here.
The difference is I think those boys of Louisiana Tech are more talented on defense than North Texas. That's the issue here is they're returning a lot of dudes, but I don't think these guys are dudes. That's the difference.
I tend to agree with that.
I don't know that they're nearly as talented as La Tech.
No, I agree with you. Their toughest games are at home this season, so they're going to need to win some road games. Now, they did win 2 road games last year. They went 4-6 last year. They went 4-8 the year before that. The win total, of course, at 4, like I said, the S&P plus, SP plus, whatever, projected record is 5-7. FPI is 6-6. I'm going to agree with them. I think this offense can absolutely score. I think their quarterback is going to be just fine. I look at them probably going 5-7, getting close to a bowl. I'm going to go over the 4 at +110.
Man, I think 5 is their ceiling. I think I would rather go under and take my chances with them missing a game or two. My issue with teams that play bad defense is when you play bad teams, those bad teams get rhythm. They can score on you. They're not used to scoring. That defense on the other side of the ball now has a little momentum, has a little confidence. All they need to make is 1 or 2 stops, and they feel like they can win a game that they normally wouldn't win.
That's true.
This is why I don't like teams that can't play defense.
That's
one thing that scares me. I think there's a team that would be favored to, probably heavily favored, maybe 7 points more, that they're going to lose to because they believe they're in the game because they can keep scoring.
Entirely possible. Entirely possible. The Rice Owls, Mike Bloomgren and his bunch, they are – everybody's got high hopes for them, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of hype around Rice's program right now because they have continued building. They looked really good. Of course, their coming out party last year was the 20-0 thrashing of Marshall. Now, if you look a little bit deeper, Marshall had a bunch of offensive linemen out. Quarterback was banged up. Playmakers weren't, it is what it is. There were circumstances that led to that, but Rice still had to get it done.
That's right.
And they won 20-0. Now, they went 2-3 last year. They went 3-9 the season before that. Their projected record is 6-6 according to SP Plus, 5-7 according to FBI. Win total sits at 5.5. The over is juiced at -150.
Yeah, no.
Vegas expects them to get
wins
to a bowl game.
Yep, they're thinking Rice Bowl.
Now, defense, going to be one of the best in Conference USA. 10 starters back. Bloomgren, his run-first offense makes it where they have less snaps than most defenses, of course. They are going to stay in more games because of the pace of play. Now, the other side of this, offense, kind of been an issue there. However, now, 9 starters back. Transfer quarterback Luke McCaffrey comes in. They should have their best offense that they've had in the last 5 years, at least, maybe even better. Here's the other side of this, though. They have not had more than 3 wins in a season since before 2016.
Now, I think had they played a normal schedule last year, they would have gotten to 4 wins. You think?
Maybe to 4, but maybe. But I don't think they were going to get close to 6.
No, I don't either, by the way.
And that's what this is expecting.
What's the juice on the under? You said the crazy juice on the over.
The under is +120.
See, that's insane to me.
And I am taking it all day.
They're begging you to take the under. They're begging you to. I'm going to take it.
I'm going to fall into the trap.
I'm going to be the mouse, and I'm going to grab the cheese, and if you snap my neck, you snap my neck. But I can't not take it. I can't see 6 wins.
I don't either.
Listen, and I do like that Rice is improving, but improving on they were a bottom 125 school out of the 130.
And then look at the schedule.
Who
they open up with.
Improve on and still be terrible.
Open with at Arkansas.
Oh, yeah.
They've got Houston.
And then Texas.
And then they've got at Texas. Now, they do have in their 4th game Texas Southern. They should win that.
But then you got Southern Miss before your bye week. Southern Miss, I don't think it's going to be any joke because you know how much I love Will Hall. This is not an easy schedule at all.
They play at UTSA.
I think they're going to struggle to get over that 3-win number.
Yeah, at Charlotte. Now UTEP, I think they can absolutely beat UTEP, but they do play it on the road. They've got Louisiana Tech, Western Kentucky at home, and North Texas at home, Southern Miss at home. I don't see 6 wins here.
I don't see 6 at all. I think they might get over their 3 hump, but there's a far cry from getting to 4 to getting to 6.
Yes, indeed,
with this schedule,
there is.
Man. And it's weird that both of the analytics have them going over this number.
Well, FBI has them 5-7.
Oh, okay. Yeah. For some reason, I thought they were both at 6.
SP Plus has them at 6-6.
Okay, both of them I thought had 6. That's fine.
Will Hall is the new head coach of the Southern Miss Golden Eagles, and
I love this dude.
I am shocked at this number. 5.5 is the win total here.
Okay.
To go over,
that didn't shock me.
To go over is +150.
Okay.
Now I'm shocked.
All right.
Now,
okay. I was about to say that's where I probably would have the win total.
To go under is -135.
I'm just going to keep getting caught with my hand in the cookie jar.
Well, so here's the deal.
What was the under?
The under is -135.
That's a lot of juice.
I trust Will Hall
a lot
with his offenses. Trey Lowe, the quarterback, running back Frank Gore. They've got a dynamic wide receiver core. Southern Miss does have talent. The defense returns 10 starters. They gave up 402 yards per game last year. They gave up over 30 points per game last year. I am not sure what to make of them because they are more talented than what they showed last year.
So normally I would say I want a team getting a new coach to have a little bit of a feeling out, a little bit of being comfortable in a new system. This is a team that had 3 head coaches in one weird-ass COVID year last year.
Yes.
Okay.
So this is their 4th head coach in less than a calendar year.
Yes. During a 10-game scheduled season, they went through 3 coaches.
And still found a way to win 3 games.
And still won 3 games. I think Will Hall, with a full off season and everything, I think there's talent at Southern Miss.
Yeah.
There just is.
SP Plus has them at 6-6, along with FPI, both at going 6-6.
Yeah,
So
I didn't think it was good. When you said 5.5 was a number, I was like, yeah, that sounds right. 5, 6. I think their ceiling is 7 wins. If they catch fire, I think their floor is 5 wins. So
they are projected favorites in 6 games.
Yeah. That all makes sense to me. I think Will Hall is a really, really good coach. I love him getting this chance. I love the over. Man, the juice scares me because
I'm going to take the under. I'm going to take the under.
You're going to take the under.
Yeah.
Where do you think they're getting tripped up?
I think they can lose at home to North Texas.
Not that we just want to go through the schedule, but
no, I don't think that they'll beat UTSA. I don't know if they can beat Louisiana Tech. I think that they'll probably get caught by Troy. They play Alabama. They play at Rice. I mean, this is a tough schedule, man.
It is a tough schedule. This is a team that I think they're good.
And we love Will Hall, so
And I do, but I'm biased, and you know that. And I'm very honest about my biases. If I really like a coach, I'm gonna go in on him.
So you're gonna go over 5.5.
Yeah, and I'm gonna love all that juice.
Plus 150. Plus 150. All right.
If I get that one right, I can lose half another one. I'll be fine.
Let's talk about somebody else that you got a man crush on.
Oh.
That would be Mr. Bill Clark.
Yeah.
And the UAB Blazers. Went 6-3 last year. 9-5 the year before that.
I was just about to say 6-3 year is a huge disappointment for a Bill Clark team.
Yeah, but only because they only played 9 games. I mean, 6-3 is good. 6-3 is good. Quarterback Tyler Johnston is back. Offense should top last year's production because, I mean, they got studs, man.
Yeah,
absolute studs. Win total is sitting at 8. The over and the under are both juiced at minus 115. FPI has them going 9-3. SP Plus has them going 7-5. They are number 64 in the country in returning production, so it's basically like right dead in the middle.
Well, and that's where it is. They're going to finish 7, 8, or 9. Like, I don't think they're winning 10 games, and they're not going 6-6.
No, I mean they play at Georgia.
That's where this game is gonna find its way.
Oh, they've got a new stadium that they're opening up this year.
I'm excited
team
about
is loaded. However, they play at Georgia in the second game of the year. Their first game is against Jacksonville State.
Take a check. Take a check.
Well, yeah, take a check. Also, they play at Tulane this year.
Yeah,
which is going to be a lot of fun. Willie Fritz.
It will be fun. It's Tulane without Will Hall. I'm curious to see what Willie Fritz looks like.
This is true.
He was great before Will got there. He was better when Will Hall got there.
Yeah.
Let's see what that offense looks like without Will.
The opening game of their new stadium is, check this out. They play neutral site against Jacksonville State on a Wednesday to open up the college football season.
Go to UGA.
Then they play at Georgia, at North Texas, at Tulane. First game in the new stadium is against Liberty.
This is a tough one. This is a tough one. This is one I chalked up as an L.
They are projected to be dogs by more than a touchdown here.
I'll probably take those points though.
Probably so.
I'm hoping for a big point spread there.
I don't like the schedule a lot, but I do like them in the toss-up spots.
All their coin flip games, I just think I lean on coaching. I lean on experienced quarterback. I think they're going to win more coin flips than they're not.
I'm going to go over the 8 at minus 115.
Me too.
And so
me too. I'm not going against Bill Clark. I'm just not.
I think they can win at Tulane. I think they could find a way to beat Liberty. Like it's going to be tough.
I wouldn't hate seeing it.
I could see them beating Liberty more than I could see them losing to Louisiana Tech or something.
Oh, yeah. No, teams that they're better than, this is what good coached teams do.
Yeah.
They don't lose to teams they're not supposed to lose.
Their swing game, by the way, I think it's at the very end of the season. I think it's
it's Southern Miss?
No.
UTEP.
I think it's at UTSA.
Oh, I was about to say, it can't be UTEP. Right?
At UTSA. I think that might be the one that decides it.
They'll kick the crap at
UTEP. UTEP. Let's talk about them right quick. So we'll try and knock out these last two. UTEP, Dana DeMel last year hit 3 wins. They went 3-5. However, 2 of those wins were against FCS teams by less than a touchdown, and the other was against hapless UL Monroe. And, you want to talk about 3 wins that really don't make your program look any better.
No.
But it is better than losing to them.
Yeah,
I will
true.
say that.
They don't get Louisiana Monroe this year.
The win total this year is 2.5. To go over is minus 125.
I was just about to say.
Under is minus 105. And the schedule is not easy. They open up at New Mexico State, which is good.
I think they'll win that one. I think they'll win.
They'll beat Bethune-Cookman.
I was just about to say Bethune-Cookman.
I think they start 2-0, and then I think they lose 10 straight. I've got them going under the 2.5.
We see this exactly the same. This is one of those things where you get a little rhythm. You're feeling good about yourself. You're 2-0.
And then you got to go play at Boise State.
And then you get smoked on the Smurf turf. You get a bye week to think about it. Then you go to New Mexico, which I actually think that could be a closer game than we think.
Yes.
Especially them coming off a bye. That's the coin flip game. That's the swing game, right?
Yeah. That's the one. So
I think, I like the Lobos to win that one.
Yes. Yes, indeed. The offense could be the best since Mike Price was there.
I do think they're going to be. I think they're improving.
Yeah. I mean, they should
But
improve,
they're going from awful to still pretty bad.
Yes.
It takes a while.
It does.
I'm going to tell you, Rice is doing the right thing. Some of these schools go at Old Dominion. If you're a really bad football team, you have to take advantage of these transfers.
Yes.
There's 1,000 kids sitting in the transfer portal without a home. I promise you, all those guys that played in the SEC and the ACC and the Big 10 and the Big 12, they're the American that are transferring, they're all better than all the kids on your roster. Yeah. They're just better than all the kids on your roster. Go get them. They don't have a home.
I tend to agree. All right.
Sorry.
Last team before we give our championship picks and whatnot. The UT San Antonio Roadrunners.
I wonder how we're going to feel on this one.
Jeff Traylor absolutely turned that program around last year.
Correct.
They have talent. Frank Harris was able to get them talent there. He just could not coach it for the last 2 years, and then he got fired, and they bring in Traylor, who I thought this was a joke of a hire, but this is a guy that understood Texas high school recruiting, that understood all the things that make a team work. Remember, he coached under Chad Morris at Arkansas. I thought this was a disastrous hire. It felt like they couldn't find anybody else. And then last year they go 7-5. They hung in with some super tough teams last year. They gave BYU and Louisiana 2 of their closest games all year. Like BYU was beating everybody by 40. And they went out to Provo and held it within a touchdown.
I was just about to say, and played a game.
Quarterback Frank Harris Jr. returns with running back Sincere McCormick. They should threaten the school record of 31.2 points per game this year. I think they're going to go over that. Defense, all 11 starters return. Their top 14 tacklers are back after switching to a 3-4 scheme last year. 21 starters back overall out of 22. The team chemistry has been fantastic under Traylor. I think that they're going to compete with UAB for the division title. I'm going to go over 8. They open up at Illinois, and then they've got Lamar. One of their other non-conference games is at Memphis. I think they're even good enough to compete with Memphis this year.
Okay.
I think this is a really, really good team. There's only 2 likely projected losses on the schedule, and that's Illinois and Memphis, and both are on the road.
Memphis, yeah.
Other than that, they are favored in 9 games this year, and I think they can get that done.
What's the team total?
Team total is 8.
8.
It's not 8.5. Over is juiced at minus 105. The under is minus 125. So I'm going to go over. SP Plus has them at 8-4. FPI has them at 7-5. I ain't even looking at it. I think that this team goes over. I think they can get to 9 wins.
Man, I don't know. I kind of want to say under. I kind of want to say under. 7 scares me. I do think this one's going to end up a push.
Yes,
but if you told me, are they getting to 7 or are they getting to 9? The chances of a team that's not used to winning and losing a game that they shouldn't lose is probably better than them winning a game they shouldn't win.
That makes sense.
I think losing begets losing. I'm making a gut call.
Okay, so under 8.
I'm going to go under the 8.
Totally fair.
But here's the thing. A 7-8 win season for San Antonio, that's a hell of a season from where they were
very much so
3 years ago.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
All right, who you got in this division?
Conference USA title game, I'm going to take UAB to win the West?
The West, yes, sir.
And then in Conference USA East, I'm going to go with Marshall this year.
So I'm going to go UAB.
Okay.
I'm going to go Florida Atlantic. I'm going to go Wheeler Taggart.
Really?
We go Wheeler Taggart.
Okay.
I'll tell you, this is solely out of spite for Marshall getting rid of my boy. Okay, that's the list. That's the list. So
no, I'm with you. Okay, so that's.
But Bill Clark is going to continue to dominate the West.
I think UAB ends up winning.
I think
they win conference.
I just think he's the best coach in the conference.
I think he is as well. I think so. All right, that is going to wrap it up for the Conference USA preview.
Sure.
Go ahead and let you guys know again. If you like what we're doing, hit the thumbs up button. Make sure and subscribe to the channel, and there is a link in the description. Of course, sbrpicks.com/NCAAF. Go and check out the website. Make sure that you are subscribed, and if you want to hit us up, we'll give you the Twitters again. I am at Gary WCE.
I'm Matt Crispy Giannini.
So for SportsbookReview.com, I'm Gary.
And I'm Chris.
And we will see you again next time.